Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for April 2nd, 2023. So, Cooper and I are here like normal. I come in here now and he has to come in with me every time. He always would visit, don't get me wrong, but now it's like he comes right away. Anyway, so he's here for the beginning part of the video. Anyway, so this week was a fairly good, not a great reading week. I said I'm still not really listening to audiobooks, which is sad. I am using my Kindle more, so that has been weird because I don't read off my Kindle that often, I admit it, and I've been, trying to stop myself from buying Kindle books because I wasn't using it that much in the last couple years. But this couple weeks alone, I've opened up so many ebooks. I'm not finished with everything, but at least I'm able to read something anyway, because I'm still having trouble with my eyes, and my appointment isn't until Thursday this week to see what's the problem with the lenses. And then my ear, I do have an appointment, but it's like 3 weeks out, so I don't know how much audiobooks I'll be doing in the meantime. I want to do some, but again, I don't like to have earphones on when my ear is plugged. Anyway, beyond that, the only thing that happened this week is I fell by the mailbox on Monday. Luckily, I did not hurt myself. I just was trying to get out of the way of somebody walking. They were on their phone walking their dog, and their dog was a pretty big size dog. He looked like he was kind of Rottweiler mix or something. Really cute, and he was sweet. Like he was. There was nothing like that. It's just I didn't know that dog at the time. So I was trying to move over on the sidewalk, and I hit a rock that was about the size of my fist and rolled my foot. And I pretty much dove towards the ground. But I rolled in a way that I hit my left hip, and then I saved the rest of my body. I didn't hit my knees or my hands or anything. So I don't know how I did it. It must have been a volleyball move from years ago where my body just did something. I came out of it okay. She helped me get up. And I was fine. I had no bruises, no cuts and scrapes, nothing. And just a few little muscles were pulled. I did also exercise this week, but maybe not as much as I wanted to, but I at least still exercised after I fell. So I didn't use that as an excuse. Anyway, so I'm still working with the treadmill. We're trying to get into a routine. Hasn't happened yet. And then the last thing I just want to mention is I am doing Camp NaNoWriMo. I only put myself for 10,000 words. I really, again, that's National Novel Writing Month, but this is the camp version, which is where you get to decide how much you want to write within the month of April. And I, at the last minute, decided to do it because I really want to get back into my writing, and I'm just not making it a priority. So I thought if I put down that I had to write 10,000 words, at least in April, I'm good. And yesterday I wrote over 2,300 words. So it felt really good. So I'm hoping to at least write on the weekends this month. And I said, I want to build up to where I'm writing again during the week as well, but maybe weekends are just going to be it for now, but I'm trying to get back into it. Okay, so that's my big update. Sorry, that was a lot longer than I meant it to be. So let's get into the books that I finished, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So, yeah, Cooper and I are going to read. So I did finish the novella for Shelley Lauriston for the Long Island Coven, which is a short series that she did back in 2008 and 9, I think. So it was one I just discovered that I didn't know about, that is connected to her Pride series and her Magnus Pack series, and there's another one. There's another short series, but the Pride series is the big long one. That is urban fantasy. There's a paranormal romance with shifters, and it's just fun. Anyway, so this one has witches who have come to this small town that shifters run, and so the normal human population doesn't know about the shifters and the witches and stuff. So this was following the mayor of the town. And it's the short story is called The Wolf, the Witch, and Her Lack of Wardrobe. So again, it's a paranormal romance. It's funny like all of Shelley Lauriston's stuff. Absurd, funny, and with action and some brutal scenes of action stuff, things that happen. And it was kind of surprising on some of it. But these are fun. These are my kind of paranormal romance where they're just fun and light. With action and and build up with a lot of characters and stuff. So I really enjoyed this. I did try to read the other two the other two novellas, and both of them turned out to be second chance romances. And that is like my least favorite thing in romance. I'm not a second chance romance person. I mean, again, there's like only 2 or 3 books that I could say I really love that are second chance romances, and they work for me. Most of them do not. So these ones I had trouble with. I got like 40 pages into one. The other one I only lasted about 20 pages, but they just didn't work for me. So I just was like, I didn't buy this book for those novellas. I bought it for the Shelley Lawrenston to finish off the small series, the Long Island Coven. So I did that, and then so I just finished the book off. So technically I DNF'd half the book, but I don't know. I still counted it. Anyway, so point is that I did get that done. So I finished another series that I started this year. Anyway, and then I decided to pick up one of my books that are urban fantasy, paranormal romance books that I had done a chapter on in the last few years. And I had a stack of 12 at the beginning of the year that I was going to try to get to them this year to decide if those are series I want to read and continue. And I've only done one, so I'm behind already. So I wanted to pick one up at the end of March, at least to get 2 done. So maybe in the next quarter I can do 4. We'll see how this goes. So I picked Skinwalker by Faith Hunter. This is the first book in the Jane Yellow Rock series. I think there's like 15 books in it about, and this did not work for me. And I'm so sad because the premise of this urban fantasy is definitely something normally that I would say is one of my favorite things about urban fantasy. So we have a world where the world is, vampires have been outed a couple decades before this book takes place. I won't say how because it was so funny. I laughed about how that happened. Anyway, and it was a funny part. Anyway, and then so she is a vampire hunter, and she has kind of made her living doing that. And she is just coming off of being injured about 6 or so months before by taking on a rogue vampire family, and she was injured a lot. And I didn't say that very well. She was horribly injured, and it took a lot to recover. So this is her first job, and she takes a job for the New Orleans vampires who say that there's a rogue among them who has killed some vampires, has killed some cops, and has killed some civilians. And so she goes down because she's from the North Carolina area, and she goes down there. And so it's starting from when she gets there, like it starts when she's in New Orleans, and she meets the vampires that she's going to work for and stuff, and other characters in this. So the thing I liked about it is it was a very plush world. Like the world mostly made sense, and she was very much New Orleans. You could see a lot of the stuff in that town and in the area. This world has it where Katrina did happen, but it wasn't quite as devastating as it was still devastating, but not quite as bad. So there's like little tweaks to the history because again, vampires came out a few decades before. And there are other creatures in this as well as we go along. But she has her own, her own powers kind of thing. And so, okay, so the world building I thought was really well done. I thought the setting was really well done. It was definitely urban fantasy, as in the mystery of she was trying to find the rogue, and then her having to deal with working for vampires when she kills vampires for a living. So there was a lot of good tension there. There's a lot of good stuff in here. My problem with this is definitely a setup book. I mean, there is a mystery, and you do get a conclusion for what this book wants to do, like her job, is in that. But you could tell that she was hoping to do certain things with this story later on. And I think there's too much of that in here. There are way too many characters in this 320-page book. Way too many name dropping and stuff. And sometimes she would expect me to remember a name from something that I'm like, what? Like, I don't remember that. And I am very good at large cast of characters. I'm not, like, even as a writer, I like to write big cast of characters in mine, in stories. And so I get it. Like, I like all that, like, because it makes sense to me that there's all these people, but she also would forget things and people. And it drove me crazy why we're following this line of thread, and then something happens and she was dealing with somebody, and then something would happen, and then she wouldn't talk about that person for pages, like for well, days in here. And I'd be like, why would you forget that person, or forget what happened there, or ask them what happened, or something? Like, it didn't make logical sense to me the way that this book is structured. I'm sure they must get better. This is not the author's first book, from what I understand. I thought there was a series that came before that she wrote. So I'm not sure I don't think this was her debut, but there was a lot of mistakes in here that I would consider a debut author's problem, because I think she tried to bite off more than she could chew in this short book. I do have little tabs here to show this is where something happens to somebody, and this is when she remembers that person and what happened to that person. Not once is it mentioned all the way through those pages, and which is over 100 pages. What was it? 140 pages of the book, where something, like, there's like a disconnect. It made me not like the main character Jane, because again, we're seeing everything through her eye and her mind and things that are happening. I mean, I said world building and everything was really good, but her was she was the problem a lot for me. And it was a real struggle for me to finish this book. And it's really sad. I know a lot of people love this series, so it just didn't work for me. I found too many flaws to continue. I do like the idea of what's going to happen after this. Like, I mean, I don't know if I would ever pick up another book from this. Right now, I would say no. But if I found one used at a library book sale, I might read the second one just to see if it gets better. But this was a hard first book in a series, because of the flaws for me. And that is just my opinion. So as I said, I'm sure, as I said, a lot of people love this series. I just had a few issues, mostly with the main character and her. I mean, I guess to me, it felt like it was all over the place, and it didn't really work for me. Anyway, so that's sad. So I didn't like that. So, but I did check off one of the books that was on that list of books I liked the first couple chapters of for a triad chapter, but didn't read. So at least I've done that. And then the last book I finished was Mistress of the Art of Death by Ariana Franklin. So this is the first book in this series. I read this book. I figured out it was so I read it a couple years after it came out. I think I read it in 2009. I think I did. And this came out in, 2007. So I got it a little bit after that. I'm sure, because I probably got this used. Anyway, the point is that I did, so this is a historical mystery that I read for March Mystery Madness. I finished it on the last day of the month so that I could count it still for March Mystery Madness. So I did this as a reread because, again, I read it back in 2009 and I didn't remember much of anything about it. And I've always wanted to continue the series after I found out a couple years ago that there was more books in the series. So I have the other books in the series so I want to continue. But I wanted to reread this because I didn't remember much about it. So this is following Adelia, who is from Sicily, and she and a couple companions are sent from Sicily to help some find out who is killing children in Cambridge in England. And this is 1172, so it's pretty far back in history. And so she is a doctor of death, or somebody who can look at a body and tell you what happened to it. So again, it's really an interesting premise, and that she's female and that she is sent on this mission. And it was a really interesting ride. As I said, I remember parts of it, but I didn't remember how it ended at all. Like, I couldn't remember that at all. I do like the characters in here, and I'm interested to continue on. As I said, this was just a good mystery. I didn't figure it out. Let's just put it that way. Even the second time around, I didn't remember. I thought it was somebody else. I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's that guy. No, it wasn't. I was wrong. Anyway, so I did like this and returning to it. So again, I do want to read the next book, The Serpent's Tale, I believe is book 2. So I'm hoping to read that. It takes place a couple of years after this one takes place. So I'm looking forward to that. I did listen to most of this by on audio from the library by Rosalind Landor, but as I said, I'm having the ear problems. So when I tried to listen to it on Friday to finish this, I listened to like a half hour and I'm like, I can't do this. So I read the last 100 pages on my own, or, you know, when I got home from work. So I didn't take the book with me. So I read this, finished that. And as I said, I'm glad I did. As I said, I do want to continue the series. I'm hoping to at least pick up The Serpent's Tale sometime this year. I will need a little time before I pick up another one of these because it was pretty dark. But I did enjoy it, and I do recommend it for historical mystery. I thought it was really well done. And I'm glad I reread it because I didn't remember what happened. And I want to continue that series and finish that series at some point. So, okay. So I did start a few, not right now. What is this doing? What? Oh, why is it always when I'm in the middle of shit? Okay, this is not working. Okay, okay, hold on a second. My thing just, okay, sorry about that. Pinterest was just being a jerk and made me do some entering in my stuff. Anyway, so, Friday I did start this, but I haven't touched it since Friday because I read it at work. As I said, on the Kindle, I'm trying to pull up books that I should have read a while ago. That's on my Kindle. I have a lot of books that I physically own, but this is one I don't physically own, but it's in a series that I'm working on. And that is Alec McKenzies' Art of Seduction, which is book 9. 9, isn't it? I think it's 9. In the Mackenzie McBride series by Jennifer Ashley. So this is a series that I just adore, but I have never continued on until this year because the book before this, the Stolen Mackenzie Bride, and this one and the one that comes after are following the ancestors of the main series, who are in the 1890s is pretty much where their story is being taken place. These ones are all like 1740s. So we're talking about the Jacobite rebellion and the aftermath of that for Scotland. And so this is following Alec, which is one of the brothers of the Mackenzie brothers that are the 3 that we're following in this series. And he has come from France because one of the brothers that is gone missing, and so he is looking for his brother Will. And so he is staying with somebody in London, and because he's an artist by trade, so he is being an art teacher to some people to kind of inventory and try to find out if he can find out information about his brother because he thinks he's been taken by the British. So and then we're meeting is her name Celia? I can't remember right now. Dang it. It's been been a couple days, so I think that's her name. Anyway, she is the daughter of one of the most powerful dukes in England. And so he and the person he is staying with have kind of manipulated it to where he will give her art lessons because she's kind of out, has had a disgraceful moment that her mother put her in a situation that was really bad, trying to get her married to somebody with a lot of money. And she refused to marry the guy even after they were caught in a compromising position. And so she's kind of on the outs of society, but they're trying to find out if the brother is taken by the English. And so they're thinking to go through her to her father somehow. So I don't know. It's kind of like there's back thing, but they of course have a really good chemistry, and I'm about 100 pages into this book, so about a third of the way. Yeah, I would say about a third of the way I'm through this. So I'm really enjoying it. It is one, as I said, I really enjoy her historical romances, and it is a series, one of my favorite series that I've reread many times up until these last couple books that I have not read. I have 5 books left, I have 4 books and a novella, I think, that I need to read. So I'm counting this one. So I do want to get this series done this year. Okay, I'm like reflecting, but yes, nice covers. Anyway, but I have this one and the next one ebook. So I'm going to try to get to them, especially now that I'm reading a lot off my Kindle due to my eyesight issues. So hopefully I can get this one done this next week. And then I'll pick the other one up probably in another month or two. I don't know if I can get it done that quickly, but we'll see how I feel. As I said, I'm really enjoying it, but I want to get back to the main timeline. So I got to get through this book and the next book. So we'll see what happens. So then yesterday was April 1st. So Secret Project number 2 dropped by Brandon Sanderson from his Kickstarter. I decided to pick it up and actually start reading this. So I am about 52% of the way through this. I think it's about a 400-page book, but I'm not positive. It's kind of hard to tell. There's not a lot of information because nobody wants to spoil the title. So I'm not going to spoil the title. This is just the little gift that they had for the Secret Project. So I'm not going to say it now. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of reviews of people also reading it this weekend to get theirs up. I'm probably not going to do a separate review or anything. I'm not very good at those, and I'm not looking for the clicks for that. So, but I will probably tell you about it next week. I don't know if I should say the title next week. We'll see how the internet goes. If there's a lot of people who are posting with the title, then I might just do it. But if not, let me know if you want me to just keep it secret. I don't know. So, but I'm really enjoying this. I'm not going to say too much about it right now, just due to the fact that there's not much information out there yet. And I don't want to be spoiling it for anybody if you have it and haven't gotten to it yet. I am enjoying it. It's a lot different from some of the other stuff I've read by Sanderson. So I think that's been very interesting. Because there's a historical part to it and a futuristic part to it kind of mashed together. And it's a very interesting story. And I think the only other thing I want to say is I was surprised it was first person. So those are the only things I'm going to say. As I said, I'm in the middle of it. I'm enjoying it. I don't think I like it as much as Tress, but that was a whole different kinds of story. So this is definitely different. This is very much a different kind. So, but I'm really enjoying it. And as I said, I'm about 50% of the way through that one. So I have those 2 ebooks that I'm going to read probably first this week. I'm hoping, I'm not sure what else. Let me just be honest. That's why I didn't bring any other books in here. I have no idea when I'll read after those 2 books. Those are the 2 books that are right now. I am very much, mood reading. I'm trying to read stuff that I want to read still from all my lists and all the stuff that I've gotten, but I'm just not sure what I'll pick up next. I mean, again, I have Jade City I could read next, and I have another one calling to me is some of those standalones that I have from my 23 books in 2023, and I also might pick up what was that one called? Ocean's Echo, which is the companion book to Winter's Orbit. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I pick up. So I'm not sure. And again, I got all these books that I'm going to do a book haul on that I've gotten this month that I haven't got to those either. So I could pick one of those. I have no idea. So that's kind of where I'm at. As I said, I'm definitely in mood reading right now. And I'm just arbitrarily picking stuff off my Kindle too. So, it could be next week all I have is my iPad showing you pictures of what I'm reading on my Kindle. But I am enjoying it. At least I can read. Like, as I said, my vision is I can read the books if I focus, and I just can't read it as long as I'd like to. The Kindle's easier for my eyes just because I can blow up the print. So that's kind of it. So here, I'm going to just quickly finish up my board for the first quarter. So I know I haven't been showing it all the time. I do mark it after I film and go, I forgot to show the board. Anyway, so this is what it looks like right now. So the 3 things I'm going to put is I finished the Long Island Coven series. I did start a series, but it's not I'm not going to continue the Jane Yellow Rock series at this point. I did start it though. And then I'm not going to put down start series for the Mistress of the Art of Death because I have read it before, but I am going to put it down as a reread because it was a reread. So, and then I didn't finish any of my ebooks that I'm currently into. So that's kind of where the board is for, I'm going to clear it off and change it. But again, my continues, I've got tons. I did so well on, I think what I figured out is that Of the 58 books that I've read in the first 3 months of the year, 42 of them were series books. So I think that's pretty good. Again, that's typical of me. I'm very much someone who reads a lot of series. So it doesn't surprise me that, like, was it 70% or so? 72% I think of my reading is series. That does not surprise me at all. So I will have a stats video probably next week. I'm going to get that together over this next week. And it'll cover, I'm going to try to do a little differently, like checking in with goals and stuff, like one of the goals check-ins, kind of not more full stat ones like I've done in the past, but you know, I'll do something. But anyway, this is what the board looks like. I think I did pretty good. I got some high count ones, although 2 of those were rereads. Oh well. And a couple of 500s. But my Mammoths, of course, didn't make it because I failed on that. So anyway, and again, I still have a lot of rereads because that is just the way I roll. Anyway, so that's it. And there's Cooper being cute as always. Let's see here. I think that's it. So what do you guys, how was your reading this last week? Are you excited for your April reads? I'm really excited to get to a lot of things. I'm just not sure what I'm going to read when. So, it is, as I said, it's I've definitely gone full mood reading, and we'll see what I pick up. I'm not sure. I mean, the Kindle has been working out. Of course, I bought a couple new Kindle books yesterday because they were on sale that I probably didn't need, but I still did it because they were cheap. So I don't know. I mean, it might be I'd be doing more intermixing, and I hope to get back to audiobooks. I miss audiobooks at work. Sometimes work can be so boring because there's no one's around because they're all busy. And it would be nice to be audiobooking again, but I just can't yet because of my ear. But we'll see if I can get some stuff done. Maybe I can do a little bit here and there. I don't know. We'll see what happens because I'd really like to get to The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart because I really want to finish that book and I just haven't yet. So we're going to do that. And then Les Mis is kind of on the back burner. We'll see when I get that. Okay. I think that's it. We're done. Again, I will book haul later this week. And that's kind of it right now. So, I don't know. Let me know anything that you think I need to know. I don't know. I'm trying to think how to end this. We're done. Cooper and I will see you guys later. Bye.